So with it being nearly August now, one of the things if you haven't done already, is just looking out aerators, scarifiers, big blowers for the autumn. You know, this is a great time to look these tools over, make sure that they're working right, making sure if there's any parts you need that you're getting them now, because obviously when it becomes the scarifying time, everybody wants scarifiers, everyone wants parts, so use this kind of downtime, if you like, to get that sorted. Also, before my little hiatus, shall we say, or sabbatical from social media, you saw me using the Stihl 756, I think it is. So the big bad boy Stihl mower. I've got all that footage recorded, so I've still got a video going to be coming out about that. Obviously, you saw the introduction video to the LS42. And you saw me use it a little bit. Now I've used it for a season, I can now make that review video, so I've got that video coming out as well. Obviously once the autumn leaves come, we'll do a proper full analysis on the big bad boy blower. So yeah, lots of videos still to come. Although I haven't been posting, I have still been recording stuff, so got some good content coming up. And then obviously we'll be going into the autumn stuff and the autumn maintenance, which is really when the lawn care side of things happens. As well as the Stihl mower, the sort of the newer Harrier Pro 56. It's okay. A couple of things which I find really irritating about it, but it's okay. I spent the whole winter on a quest to try and find like the perfect mower. If you could just have one mower, what would it be? And I don't think such thing exists. And I'll maybe do a video on my findings and how I got to that conclusion. But the hater certainly has its place, as does the Stihl mower, which is in the corner over there, which certainly has its place as well. So this year I'm using quite a few mowers. Actually, this little bad boy, the Alco 650. This is a mower I had, you know, really early days. I mean, this is about to fall apart, but it certainly served its purpose, and it would be the Stihl 756, I think it is. That's what I would be looking to replace that with. However, I'm quite interested to try the Toro version, the four-wheel Toro. Is it the Pro line? I think it is. I'd be quite interested to test that and compare that to the Stihl mower, because I think they're sort of quite similar. So that might be something that I might try to do. You know, that's a great mower. It's got me out a lot of holes when the 56s are falling apart. But it's not a professional bit of kit, and I think that's where I would want to go, put my money into a professional four-wheeled mower. So one thing which was quite interesting, at the start of the year, like with lots of things, you just couldn't get parts, and I wanted a couple of replacement of these Stihl head strimmers. Couldn't get any, so ended up having to use one of these Echo multi-head things, which actually I hated, mainly because of this head here. Can you see how far off everything is? So it kept rocking from side to side, and actually the grass that's quite long, that grass would be when it's cutting. So didn't enjoy this. Much prefer this one. You know, it's got a nice flat bottom on it. Anyway, had this on, was using it for a month, 2 months, and then randomly it just went and just shot off across the garden, and the part which makes this fit any kind of strimmer shot off. Never found it since. I look every time I'm at the client's house, and I'm there weekly, never found it. And so anyway, I went out, ended up buying a few more of these because now I could get them, so I bought a couple to make sure that I wouldn't run out should it, you know, it wear down again, and at least I'd have a replacement one. But now this has done something to this strimmer here that now won't fit on. I know it's sitting there now, but if I was to start it up and rev it off, this would just undo and straight off. I contacted Steel about it, and basically the only thing they can recommend is Loctite, which is not ideal. But actually now what I've noticed is the gearbox is massively playing up ever since this shot off, to the point now where when you rev it, it'll rev, but this won't go round, and then you ease off the revs, and then it kind of catches, and then it will take it round a bit, but then when you rev it too hard, it won't rev again. So I think I need a new gearbox. This is the FS 56. So this is like my light edging strimmer. Obviously I've got the FS 240, which is the one I've been using today. What I did have though was the FS 90. This one here. Yeah, the FS 94. Sorry, this is the KM 94, but they're the same thing, aren't they? Same size engine. I was using it just for the hedge cutter and the long-handled hedge trimmer, and it's a brand new bit of kit. But basically, it was just sitting in the lock-up, and I was using it for a couple of hedges in August time, and then maybe a little bit of work during December. So I wanted to get one of these, which is the attachment for it, mainly for using this as a backup, but with the gearbox on that not working and not really knowing exactly what's wrong there, without taking it off and really investigating it, I went down the road of this. So I've been using this for the last couple of months, and yeah, it's been really good. I mean, you can see that it's had some serious wear, bearing in mind that's only a couple of months old, but actually this is quite good, and this is a good kind of happy medium between the 56 and the 240. So obviously it's quite light, but it's got a real, you notice that there's a lot more power to it than what there is on the 56, which I suppose is, you know, what it's meant to be. Depending on the price of a new gearbox, it may mean just getting a new strimmer. So this may be the to get the FS 94 might be the way to go. I always wanted an FS 70, so I don't know what the power difference is between the FS 70 and the FS 94. Maybe you know, maybe you can put that in the comments below. Bit of a random video this one, just getting back into it, but as I say, I will have the review of the Camberley Scarifier coming up, the big Stihl 7 Series mower, got that review coming out soon, and then got some other stuff a bit like that. I've got a couple of turfing jobs which I've done, so they're all in the bag, ready to go really. They've all been recorded, they just need like a final edit on them, and then I think by the time they've all come out we'll be, you know, getting into the autumn maintenance season, and then leaf clear ups. Then I guess potentially Soltex is happening this year, who knows. My plan is to go to it this year. I couldn't make it in 19, and then obviously last year it didn't happen, but we shall see. You may notice I've got the Stihl Bluetooth headphones. I was a massive fan of these. I've made a couple of videos on these. I think they're fantastic. Obviously last year I made a couple of videos about the Isotune headphones, you know, and they're alright. They've got their place, certainly. You know, if it's a really, really hot day and you want to wear a big sombrero, then they're probably easier to wear than these. But, you know, if I was to rank them, you know, these Pelter ones, these are knackered now, like they've proper gone. But the sound, the hearing protection from these is second to none. These are the Optim 2s. I know a lot of people wear Optim 3s, which are even more hearing protection, so I can only imagine they're phenomenal. The hearing protection on this side, you know, is definitely not as good, but you know, the phone call capabilities, the listening to your podcasts and everything else, you know, makes these just absolutely fantastic. And then you've got the isotunes, which, you know, you couldn't use with a heavy mower or the backpack blower and stuff like that. But if you're doing light bits of trimming, then that's definitely, you know, there's a place for that. Someone sent me a message about these, saying that what they found is that the padding filled up with like sweat, I guess, and then they'd end up like squeezing and pouring it out, and it was like really gross. And actually, I knew what they were talking about, because my first pair, this is a new pair because I basically wore the other pair out, had a lot of sort of, to begin with, there was like electrical fault problems going with it, where, you know, one of the ears would cut out, and then you touch the ear, then it would cut back in, and then eventually it stopped working. And well, I guess it, you know, all wiring stuff has a shelf life, I guess. But yes, the original pair used to fill up with sweat and used to be able to squeeze it out at the end of the day, and it was totally gross. But then I did the video about getting the new like pads, and when I got the new pads, it never did that. And since I've had these ones, they've never done it either. So maybe that was something they've changed, perhaps. But it was just interesting that someone commented about that, and I thought, yeah, actually it does do that. So I think the new ones don't do it anymore. That's all I can say on that. So today I've got a bit of a mixed day of one mowing job and just trying to get my summer lawn treatments finished up. So one thing I haven't done for a while is just check the oil on the mowers. I tried master yesterday and it was actually pretty low, so I was a bit like, whoa. So I thought I'd just check it on this. This one's perfect, actually. I must have done this one recently. Also, it's time to just change the blade on this as well. So got a nice sharp one. The batteries. See you in the next video. One other thing I need to do while I've got this upside down is I'll just take the scraper, just give it a bit of a clean around, and then maybe at the weekend give it a good wash off. So while I've got you and I've got the 56 here, you'll remember that a few of us went and did the I guess promotional review of this mower, and we tested it on really short bone dry grass, and it was like, well, yeah, it flies over that grey. And I said in the video, the real test will be on wet, lush grass. It's generally pretty good, actually. The wheels are a lot stronger. That was one of the things that really annoyed me, that the wheels wouldn't wear out, but the bearings would go on the wheels, so they would go wonky, so you'd never have crisp, straight edges to your lines. By them changing that has meant that that's not too much of a problem. The heights are all different. I would normally cut on the older 56s, I would normally sort of have, you know, a generic setting of 4, and then, you know, I would tweak it to maybe 5, 3 or 2, depending on the quality of the lawn and the undulations of the lawn, etc. I kind of think that 2 3/4 on this is kind of the old 4, if that makes sense. So doesn't quite give you the amount of options on the lower scale. So very sort of similar to the Stihl mower in that respect. So that's a bit irritating. And the other thing that's really sort of frustrating is this bar here on the old haters used to be on the back. Now, with it being on the back, that meant that you couldn't pop a high enough wheelie to just put it in the van, so you needed a ramp to get in, or something to help you lift it. So what they've done is I don't know if that's why they've done it, but this bar here is now on the inside, so it means you can lift it right up and you don't necessarily need a ramp, because you can get pop as high a wheelie as you want. But what happens now is you have a load of build up of grass in here, and you know, you periodically would get grass build up on the back, but that was fine. You just got your scraper, excuse me, gave it a bit of that, and it's fine. And actually they do have a bar at the back as well, so that never really seems to be too much of an issue. But what happens is it all gets stuck in here, and what it does is it builds up and it builds up, and it actually slows the roller right down, so you have to clear it all out. So you need to put it on, I can't remember, highest or lowest, and try and scrape the grass out from here, then swap it to, if you've got it on highest, swap it on to lowest, so you can gain access from back here, and then you've got to pull it all out, and it's really difficult, and it takes a lot of time. So that's probably for me the most annoying thing about this, which actually wasn't an issue on the last one. But not that I needed to do anything with the chain, but you can get to it now much easier on this mower. And obviously the angle of the bag means the grass is going to fall into the back rather than the old style where it was more kind of upright like that. So it ended up building in at the end of the passageway, if that's the right word. And then you've got the build up. Now it does, when the bag's fresh and clean, it does draw to the back. Really pretty pleased with it. Just a little bit frustrated with the new heights that they've given you and the bar inside, which clogs up and slows the mower right down. So on the Toro version of this, I think you can slightly change the settings on the heights, and maybe that's why this is just kind of generically different, perhaps. You know, the reason why I sort of brought this back onto the fleet, if you like, is because although the Stihl mower is a great mower, the height options available just aren't the right ones that I need for the lawns that I need to stripe. You know, for the longer grass, which maybe the Time Master does or the Alco does, that's fine to have all the height settings up here. With the lawns that you're looking to present nicely and stripe, and maybe even, you know, do sort of like an informal croquet lawn or something like that, you want the lower settings, and what I need is a mower that gives me options. So that's why I brought this one back on. It's just a bit unfortunate that it doesn't quite have the amount of settings that I thought it would.